Okay, this video, we're going to concentrate on his sidearm. That's what all this stuff is laid out here for. But before we do that, I've received several questions on the figure, so I thought I'd just go over this a little bit, just to show you what I've done since the last time and explain a few things. First, I want to say something about the way we're doing this project. I mentioned in the first blog that we were going to do it just a little bit different. I was only going to give you the profile patterns and it was going to be up to you to do the rest. One of the things that I really like to emphasize on these tutorials that I put on the blog, I'll show you a lot in the beginning, but after a while, I'm not going to show you that stuff anymore. You're just going to have to go out and figure those things out by yourself, because that's part of learning how to carve. Now anyway, I showed you the side profile of Monty here, and I also mentioned that I don't like to use a front profile because I generally just draw that onto the wood after I've cut out the side profile, and that's what I did in this case. So again, I didn't give you a pattern for that because that's something you might have to figure out yourself. You might want your guy standing straight up and down. You might like his legs stuck out like that. You might like him sitting down, kneeling down, laying down, whatever. That's up to you. You have to figure those things out. I'll help you along, get you started if I can, but then after a while I'm going to say, okay, you're going to have to figure that out yourself. And that's what we're going to try to do here. Anyway, one of the questions I was asked was how wide should the block of wood be to make the front profile? Well, in this instance, turn this up here the other way. The widest part is just a little over 4.5 inches wide. Now, his hat, I finished his hat yesterday, and I'm not going to show you how I did that because we covered that in the poncho tutorial. This is basically the same thing. A hat's a hat, especially cowboy hat. Cowboy hat, Mexican sombrero, they're all basically the same. So anyway, this hat is smaller than the sombrero. This one measures just a little bit over 4 inches. The crown of his hat is 2.5 inches, say. I gave you the side profile of the head blank. I was asked, how wide is it? Well, again, you should know how wide that is. It's 2 inches. 2 inches. How wide is it this way? On my pattern, I told you that it was, or showed you it was, about 2.25 inches. Now the width of the head is about the same as the side of the head. The head, not the hair, just the head. But being as he's got hair on him, and he's got a mustache, it's going to be a little wider this way than it is this way. So when you're using a 2-inch piece of wood, take that into consideration and lay it out on its narrowest part if you're going to use a wider head, or a thicker head, excuse me. Because a skull on a head is basically the shape of the head. A skull is just a round object like a ball. It's the same all the way around. It's when you start adding hair and mustache and ears and all this other stuff, flesh onto the thing, that's when it gets wider, narrower, or whatever. I hope that's clear. Okay, now in the last one I told you all about the layers that you have to take into consideration. Well, I've gone ahead and done that. As you can see, we have, let's count down from the top. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 layers, okay, to make the belt. And I dropped his belt down, like I told you, the weight of the holster and the gun, that's heavy, is going to pull that belt down over time. All right, now on the back, I went ahead and detailed the back. I gave him 3 straps to hold his chaps on, that's plenty. And remember that the chaps, back leather of the chaps comes up above the crease of the knee because you don't want that material, extra material, binding you when you're sitting in your saddle and you're roping cows. I'm going to give him blue jeans, although cowboys didn't really wear blue jeans back at that time. They just wore regular old cotton pants. Miners wore the blue jeans. I've got his boots done down here. I've got the spur straps indicated. Haven't made the spurs yet, naturally. On the side here, I've scooped out for his conchos. There's going to have, like I said, there's going to be 3 of them. Put pockets on his chaps, just like Monty had in the movie. Now, in the movie, these chaps are not this long, but I like to carve my chaps long like that because it gives it a more flowing rhythm to the piece, and it looks good too. What else here? I've gone ahead and started detailing in the shirt and the neckerchief and the neck of the shirt. On the back, I haven't done much back here yet. I want to leave that alone for a while. I took it over to my disc sander and I sanded the flat plane, perfectly flat planes on each side of the figure to where I'm going to attach the arms. And as I mentioned last time, I haven't exactly decided what to do with the arms. I thought I was going to have him rolling a cigarette, but I've changed my mind. I'm going to have him doing something else, and we'll cover that later on. That's the beauty that I think, one of the main reasons I like to carve this way, because I don't have to sit there and plan out this whole figure as I go along. I can change things as I go along. It's sort of like sculpting in clay. A sculptor who works in clay and casts in bronze, he's constantly reevaluating his piece as he moves along. And that's what I like to do. Wood to me is just a medium. It's not, I don't want to treat it like it's some solid object that I can't manipulate. I want to manipulate it. When we do these arms, that Judy coughing back there, she's sitting waving her hand, I got a cough, I got a cough. Anyway, let's take a break here.